Chamber President Tom Donohue spoke at his organization's Jobs for America Summit today. He joins us now from Washington. Tom, great to have you here on Street Smart. So how optimistic are you that job growth will begin by the end of this year?
Well, we already have some job growth. My hope was to convert in the private sector more than 2 million jobs this year. The net number this month just passed was 18,000, although there were almost 60, 70,000 private sector jobs. But we've got to get back and do it. And what we talked about today are the 6 or 7 things that you can do now, today, to begin creating private sector jobs with the help of the government.
Tom, give us 1 or 2. I don't know that we have time to go through all of them, but what do you think are a couple of the key things?
I won't give you all of them.
What are a couple of the key things you think that's needed?
I'll give it to you real fast. Pass the free trade agreements that are going up finally to the Hill. That will save 380,000 jobs and create about 100,000 jobs right away. Second, let's really expand tourism, and that just takes some administrative action and a bit of promotion, because that's lots of money and lots of jobs in the United States. Third, go out and get on our own oil, our own timber, our own natural gas. It'll create hundreds and hundreds of thousands of jobs and put a lot of money in the Treasury.
Hey, Tom, where do you stand on visas? Because you hear a lot of people arguing we need to keep the entrepreneurs in this country after they come to our universities and we educate them. We shouldn't just throw them out, rather let them create businesses. On the other hand, I get a lot of emails from guys who are displaced by foreign workers who come here and do their jobs for less.
Well, there is a reality that when you train molecular biologists, and when you train certain kinds of PhD engineers, and when you train all sorts of software engineers, if you can't get enough of them in the United States and you won't let the ones we trained here stay here, then the only option American companies have is to send the work where the engineers are. And we believe you can make some changes on the visas for those people that with high skills, and you are not going to displace workers in the United States. If they were here, we wouldn't need to get people with an immigration program. The fact of the matter is we don't have them. Just look at the ones coming out of the colleges, the universities and the PhD programs, and they're not Americans.
You know, Tom, what we do hear from corporate America is, I mean, and folks who follow corporate earnings and the strategists, that it's all kind of really about demand. I mean, what do we do to stimulate demand specifically? And I'm thinking, especially for those small businesses that are really the backbone of our economy, what are we going to do to help them out? They're pretty pessimistic. Your own survey shows that.
Well, I think you asked the best question. And if you do the trade bill, there's going to be a massive increase in demand because all the obstructions by way of tariffs to selling to those countries are going to be gone. If you stimulate the tourism, you're going to have lots more people coming here and all sorts of people working in the tourism industry. If you take and work very, very hard to do something about these energy opportunities, to dig our own oil and gas and sell our own timber, you're going to create all sorts of jobs. And the people that will put the money up to do that in the private sector can smell the demand. All we have to do is let the government do their part. It doesn't cost money. It just takes changes in regulations.
What do you think, Tom, about the chances that we'll get Washington to let us have these 3 free trade agreements, to let us drill, baby, drill, because this administration has been against those?
Well, it's very interesting. On the trade deals, I think it's almost certain they're going to do it. In this job circumstance, you can't look down the street and say we're going to throw out up to 500,000 jobs on deals that we've already negotiated. On the energy thing, you ask a great question, because the President of the United States is all over the television saying we ought to do it. It's the people that work for him that are saying no, no, no. Basic question, who's in charge? I think the president can fix this in a hurry. On infrastructure, where there's great opportunity to create extraordinary numbers of jobs with money that's already there, plus money that we can acquire in an appropriate way from the private sector as well as the public sector, I think all of that creates demand.
Hey, Tom, just got time for one more question. The deadlock in Washington right now. The president spoke again about the debt ceiling today and dealing with the deficit issue. How much of that do you think is really distracting everybody from focusing on jobs? And just quickly, if you could.
I think that companies large and small all across the country, until we solve our debt crisis and our deficit challenge, are going to hold on to their money. And I think we're going to definitely do the debt thing and work towards the deficit thing, because we don't have a chance if we don't want to drive this economy back into recession.
We're going to leave it on that note. Tom, thank you so much for finding time for us this afternoon. Tom Donohue.
That's great. Nice to talk to you.
Good to talk with you. He's the president of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce.